Hey guys, welcome back to Election Center, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my final 2020 electoral map prediction for the 2020 U.S. presidential election. This is going to be my final one. You know, the election is the day after tomorrow, and so it's just about to happen, and so I thought I'd show you guys what my final prediction is going to be on this channel. I'm not sure if I have changed the winners in any of the states since my last prediction video. I'm fairly confident my classifications will have changed though. But if you're maybe a viewer on my channel and you've already seen my most recent electoral map prediction video, maybe you don't want to sit through another full 10-minute election prediction video if I may have not even changed the winners in any states. But if you're still interested in seeing my classifications, or you're new to the channel, or you just didn't see my last upload, yeah, just enjoy the video. But yeah, let's just jump in here now. And we're starting off with Joe Biden's safe states that he's going to win by more than 15% here for sure. And you guys will recognize these as obvious safe states a lot of the time. This first district in Maine and Oregon, I think, will barely crack into safe territory. Clinton winning it by 11% in 2016. Joe Biden's better favorability ratings, I'm sure that's going to get him at least a point here or more, grab him another point. And then the current circumstances in 2020, grabbing him a number of points, getting him into safe territory. And I think that's going to happen in New Mexico as well. With all factors being considered, he might barely just get a 15-point win. But yeah, these are pretty much all of the states that I think Joe Biden is going to get by more than 15 points, and that puts him at 188 electoral votes. Now let's go to these states for Donald Trump, where, yeah, once again, you'll recognize a lot of these as clear safe states that I'm filling in right here. So yeah, Mississippi, that's not a safe state quite, but I'm trying to see here if there's any others. There may be some others that I'll fill in. And this first district in Nebraska, I'm not quite sure. I think it's going to go safe for Donald Trump by a bit, though. Eking into safe territory. And I'll get to Indiana when I get to that state. But yeah, that puts him at 77 electoral votes. Pretty far behind Biden so far. But we'll see if he can catch up with these likely lean and tilt states. And then now for Joe Biden's likely states, he's going to win these between 5 and 15%. I think Colorado. Clinton won this by 5 points in 2016. You factor in his, once again, those better favorability ratings, the current circumstances, the way the state has shifted. Of course, Donald Trump has been able to make some gains as well in certain ways. But yeah, I think once you sort of do the arithmetic, it's going to even out to about a 10-point win for Joe Biden. Nevada, I think, will eke into this likely territory. Clinton won it by 2 points in 2016. And we think about Joe Biden, I think he's maybe going to get a 7-point popular win. So I could see him winning Nevada by 7 points. Moving on to more states here, I think he's going to carry Maine statewide by a likely margin. New Hampshire, probably more than 5. Virginia, a pretty substantial margin, likely territory. And he's at 222. Minnesota, I think will get by more than 5. And Wisconsin and Michigan, I will right now say more than 5%. It's going to be maybe narrower than what the polls are showing, but it's probably going to be still more than 5%, maybe like exactly 5%. And these are pretty much what I think are all of Joe Biden's likely states now. So this puts him at 258 electoral votes, just 12 away from the magic number. But now let's do the same thing for Donald Trump. Starting off with Montana, it's going to be a pretty solid win. Kansas, pretty solid. Missouri, Mississippi, and South Carolina. And I think Indiana will maybe be just below 15%. But, I said I was going to get back to Indiana, and I think I might actually barely put it safe because the state sort of maybe does have a rightward trend, the way it's been swinging. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking, a lot of these predictions come down to what is the rate of Joe Biden's outperforming Clinton, right? How much is he going to outperform Clinton in this state? And sort of doing the arithmetic with these percentages and points, shifting the points around. So Indiana, the way I see it, it's going to barely be a 15-point win for Trump right now. But I could easily say likely if I just thought about it differently. But for now, I'll just put Indiana as safe for Donald Trump. And I'll see if there's any more likely states here. Probably Alaska more than 5 for Donald Trump. But just like in 2016, it's going to be less than 15%. And these are pretty much all the likely states that I have down for Donald Trump now. This puts him at 125 electoral votes, so he's still well behind Joe Biden here. Now, for Joe Biden's lean states, I think he's going to carry these by less than 5%, but more than 1.5%. So 1.5 to 5 is what I classify as lean in my predictions. Starting off here with Pennsylvania, I think this is going to be a lean state for Joe Biden. Donald Trump is maybe making inroads here, and it's been consistently narrower than the national average. But I think at the end of the day, Joe Biden's going to grab it by a couple of points at least. By a couple of points, maybe 3%, but 2%. But yeah, I have it lean for Joe Biden, and this puts him over 270. He's now at 278 electoral votes, the winner of the 2020 U.S. presidential election. But now Arizona, I think this is going to go lean for Biden. Trump winning it by 3.5% in 2016, 3.5 points. And I think with all things being said and done, Joe Biden's going to carry it by maybe 2% here in the state. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I could see it going tilt, maybe even tilt Trump. But in terms of which classification I most agree with, I'm going to say lean for Biden. And now I think this may be all of Joe Biden's lean states. Yeah. So this puts him at 289 electoral votes, 19 past the threshold to win. Donald Trump's lean states here, the state of Texas, I think will carry by less than 5%, but not low enough so that it's in tilt range. I think it's going to be a lean win for Donald Trump. He won it by 9 points in 2016, which according to the system I use and that I see a lot of people use, that would be a likely win. And, we have this state trending to the left. Some of these states, I think maybe part of their leftward trend could be disrupted. For instance, in Arizona, I think I've heard that part of why that state is trending to the left is due to increased Latino turnout or Latino voters. But Donald Trump making gains with Latino voters in 2020, so that trend could be disrupted. But, I'm not sure how much that is responsible for the leftward trend. I'd have to look more into that. But I do know that Maricopa County is trending to the left here in Arizona, so that would be part of why Arizona is trending to the left. But yeah, back to Texas here. I've heard of the suburban shift. These suburban voters in Texas switching from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party. Yeah, I don't think Joe Biden will be able to win the state, but I think he'll get it down to lean here, and it'll be a lean win for Donald Trump. Next up, I think Donald Trump will carry Iowa by a few points, maybe 4%. Yeah, so that's going to be a lean win for Trump in Iowa, another state he won by 9 points in 2016. And I believe these are all the lean wins I have for Donald Trump, but maybe I would say this 2nd district in Maine is lean for Donald Trump. I'll put this lean for Trump. Actually, no. I'll get back to this. But yeah, these are all the lean states I have down for Donald Trump now. This puts him at 169 electoral votes. But yeah, now we're moving on to the tilt states. These are going to be states that are pretty down to the wire, less than 1.5% in terms of the margin of victory for the winner. Starting off with Joe Biden's tilt states. With these states, I'll have to think about it a bit more, but I forgot this 2nd district in Nebraska. This I think is going to be a lean win for Joe Biden, by the way. But yeah, now getting on to the tilt states. Let's start off talking about North Carolina. Donald Trump won this state by 3 points or so, 3.5 points. And so yeah, Joe Biden outperforming Clinton is going to be outperforming Clinton, I think maybe by 5% nationwide. So that makes up the deficit. That more than makes up the deficit. That gives him a 1.5% win. Now, I've heard that Donald Trump is making gains with younger African American voters, though, and I think just African Americans as a whole. And I've heard that there's going to be higher turnout among African American voters in North Carolina in 2020, so that could offset Joe Biden's gains in the state. Because I believe there are, the African American voters are going to be making up a higher percentage of the electorate in North Carolina than they are nationwide, so that could offset Joe Biden's gains. But I'd have to look into the numbers and do the arithmetic sort of. But I'm right now thinking this is going to be a very close win for Joe Biden. We're talking decimal points here, less than a percentage point. So maybe I could look at this differently if I saw maybe a certain set of data points. But from what I know and my sort of inclinations here, I'm thinking this is going to go to Joe Biden by a pretty razor-thin margin. And so, yeah. Now, the state of Georgia, this is an interesting one. For a while, I've been thinking this is going to go tilt for Joe Biden. But let's sort of really do the math here. Donald Trump won this by 5 points, slightly over 5 points in 2016. The rate Joe Biden's outperforming Hillary. Remember, this is pretty much going to make up the deficit here in Georgia. If we sort of went by that logic of if he outperformed Clinton by 5% nationwide or the same amount in every state, 5% in every single state. Not that it would work like that in reality, but, a nationwide 5-point improvement for the Democrats at the presidential level. If it was exactly the same in every state, that would pretty much, it'd be basically make up the deficit in Georgia, be a tiny bit underwater. But, yeah. By the way, one thing I did want to say about North Carolina is, so Donald Trump is making gains with African American voters, I'm fairly sure. And I think they're going to be making up a higher percentage of the electorate in North Carolina in 2020 from what I've seen. But that could also work against Trump because, overall, African Americans are still going to be going heavily Democratic. So I'm actually going to reconsider this here in North Carolina. I wasn't thinking about that. So I think this might actually be just above the 1.5 mark and actually a lean win for Joe Biden, now that I'm thinking about that factor. And I'm going to go over here to Georgia. So, yeah, as I was saying, yeah, Joe Biden outperforming Clinton by a number of points nationwide. And, yeah, I think with everything, all the arithmetic being done right, I really feel like this is going to be a tilt win for Joe Biden. Let me think about this here. Let's establish one thing, and that's this state has a leftward trend. So it's one of these Sunbelt states trending to the left. And so, yeah, I really do feel that when you couple together the state's leftward trend with Joe Biden outperforming Hillary, however much he's going to outperform Hillary, I really think he will outperform Hillary. I think when you couple these two things together, it's going to end up being a really pretty narrow win for Joe Biden here in the state of Georgia. So that's truly how I feel about this. You can disagree with me, obviously, but that's really how I feel about the state of Georgia. And just anytime I think about it, I'm just reminded of that pretty narrow 5.1% margin. And, another thing, right? Hillary Clinton, her campaign did not really make a play for the state of Georgia. Joe Biden's campaign is making more of a play for the state of Georgia. So, all things being considered, I pretty much stand by this. It's going to be a tilt win for Joe Biden here in Georgia, in my opinion. And now, Florida, let's talk about, because Donald Trump has made serious gains here in Florida because his anti-socialist messaging has been able to win over Cuban American voters in Florida who tend to be anti-socialist. So in 2016, Clinton won the popular vote nationwide. Remember, Donald Trump, by winning the right states, was able to win the election, but Clinton still actually was able to win the popular vote by 2.1% or so, 2% or so nationwide. So while she won by 2 points nationwide, in Florida, Donald Trump won by, a percentage point or so. So it was a few points to the right of the nation as a whole. And so in 2020, right, let's talk about the polling data. So we see nationwide Joe Biden with this 8 point or so, I think maybe 8, 9 percentage, depending on the aggregate used. I think it's normally an 8% nationwide lead over Donald Trump. But then in Florida, it's like basically tied. At times I think it's shown Trump with a narrow lead, and then at other times, on Real Clear Politics, Trump had a 0.4% lead. Now it's like a 0.7% lead for Biden, I think. But yeah, that's like 8 points to the right of the nation as a whole. So clearly, Donald Trump has made further inroads in the state from where he was in 2016. And if it was as close nationally as it was in 2016, Donald Trump would really be in good shape here in Florida. But Joe Biden has this national lead that's a lot larger than Clinton's was in 2016. So I really kind of think that maybe it'll just be, I'm torn between a tilt Trump and a tilt Biden win. A lot of people would be surprised to see Georgia tilt Biden, North Carolina lean Biden, but then Florida tilt Trump. But I don't think the dynamics are the same as we would expect this time around. Florida, in my opinion, could actually be this time more to the right of North Carolina and Georgia. It's really, surprising to think about, but I definitely think that that's something that could happen, and it might be the case for the 2020 election when we think about all the factors. So, yeah, I will get back to Florida, but moving on to Donald Trump's tilt states, I think that Ohio is going to be tilt for Trump. He won it by 8 points in 2016. And I think when you sort of do the arithmetic here, it's going to be, 1.4%. That's sort of a number that sounds right to me. 1.4% as the win for Trump in the state of Ohio. And I think it's going to be a tilt win for him maybe in Maine's 2nd district. But, I'll actually just barely put this in lean for Donald Trump. So, yeah, I have Donald Trump's tilt states down now, and I added this 2nd district in Maine to his lean state, or lean wins. And, yeah, I put North Carolina into the lean column for Biden and Georgia into the tilt column for Biden. So now Biden's at 321 electoral votes total to Donald Trump's 188 electoral votes total. So now it comes down to the state of Florida. If it was tilt Trump, that'd be 217 for him. Tilt Biden, that's 350 to 188. So we've had Donald Trump making gains in the state of Florida compared to where it was in 2016, making further gains with certain groups. But remember, Joe Biden has made gains with a major voting group in Florida, seniors, right? And then I think white voters as a whole have Biden's made gains with. So that's going to help to offset Trump's gains, right? So when I think about that factor now, I'm going to say this is going to be a tilt Biden state in Florida. So yeah, this is my final 2020 electoral map prediction video. So this is 350 electoral votes for Joe Biden, the Democratic challenger, and then 188 electoral votes for Donald Trump, the incumbent Republican. And so yeah, it turned out that overall my electoral vote totals and my state-by-state winners in each state were the same in this video as they were in my last 2020 electoral map prediction video. But I have moved some classifications around, it looks like. If I'm trying to remember here, I think I had this district here in Nebraska tilt Biden. Now it's lean. This district here, that in Maine, this was tilt Trump last time, I think. Now it's lean Trump. I gave Biden a wider margin of victory here in North Carolina. Last time it was tilt, now it's lean. Georgia and Florida were both tilt Biden last time, and now they're still tilt Biden. I could probably sift through and find some other things. Oh, that's another one. Pennsylvania. I was originally thinking Biden would carry this by more than 5%, but now that I'm really thinking about it, I think this is going to be a fairly close race in Pennsylvania, closer than 5, and I put this into the lean range. So yeah, I've sort of changed my margins of victory a lot, and I hope you guys also just enjoyed different discussion in this video. I discussed different factors that I was thinking about in my mind about in making when I was making these predictions. Discussed sort of different methods I was using. The discussion in this video was different than in my last video, so I hope you guys just sort of enjoyed that aspect of this. But yeah, as I said, not too much has changed since my last video, but different discussion this time, and I have sort of changed my reasoning, I think, to an extent. Maybe come up with better reasons to defend, better defenses of my predictions, and just thought about different factors, moved the margins around and stuff. But yeah, definitely let me know in the comment section what you agree and disagree with, and I'm definitely interested in hearing your guys' 2020 electoral map prediction. What is your final prediction, and what are your takes for the 2020 electoral map? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, thought it was interesting, and if you like this type of content that I make here on this channel about electoral maps, polling data, election analysis, all things elections, definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel because my videos are going to be right up your alley if this is something that interests you. But yeah, one last time, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, thought it was interesting, and I'll see you in the next Election Center video. Bye, guys.